So let's just settle into our meditation posture. And just try and bring your mind to the same place your body is. And just notice what's bubbling up to the surface. What feelings are there, and without judgment, just take note. It's okay. And then check your feet and legs. Sits bones slightly raised. And then the shoulders are aligned with your hips. Hands in the meditation mudra. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just very gently lengthening the spine. Your head is slightly tipped forward, eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. If they were open, they'd be looking at a spot a couple of inches ahead. The lips are slightly apart, and relax the jaw. And let's bring our attention to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks. There's the whole mouth area, then the back of the head. Your scalp there, release that, the skull, the base of the skull. Relax the ears and the inner ears, the temples, the jaw, back of the tongue. And relax and release any tension in the back of the neck and the shoulders. Allow your shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly. Limbs, hands, fingers and feet and toes. And bring the mind to the breath. And just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. It's just flowing in and out, slightly cooler as you inhale, slightly warmer as you exhale. And if there are any sounds in your environment, whether it be birds settling down for the night, people in your home, pets, emergency vehicles outside, just allow those sounds to be there. And then notice your mind. What stories are going on inside there? And then just look at them as an objective observer. Without judgment, without criticism, without opinions. And just try not to become entangled or swept away by the thoughts. So we put ourselves on the bank of our imaginary river of mental moments and just notice what's there and just watch it flow on by. So we're not being swept away with it. We're not drowning. We're just sitting peacefully, noticing, and we're free. So bring the mind to the breath. And let's bring to mind all these people of our life. So our loved ones. These are our very precious, dear spouses and children and besties. These are people that we care about, we feel for. Then there's those people in our life we have a little bit of difficulty with. And then those people in our lives who are complete strangers. And we don't really care about them. We see them maybe once or twice in the supermarket, in the post office, on the street. They're just kind of in and out of our lives in a matter of seconds. But all these people, you know, they could possibly change place at any time in our life. And maybe the friend, the enemy, and the stranger has changed place for you at some point. And they're all deserving of our equal concern, our equal care, not just the ones we love. And why? Because each one of these people wishes to be happy. Everybody wishes to be free from suffering. And they all have this incredible capacity for this enlightened mind, just like you. So bring the mind to the breath and just think we'll do this meditation for all these people of our life, and by extension all sentient beings. And if there is somebody in your life who would very much like probably to be happy, but probably wouldn't think to come along and do a purification meditation, so just imagine, invite them in your mind, put them next to you. They can do it with you. And perhaps they're maybe too old or too young. But if you put them next to you and you have them do it with you, then it doesn't matter. So remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So LAMA YESHE would say we create negativity with our mind, so we can create positivity with our mind as well, just as well. So the first of the 4 opponent powers, so this is the practice of purification using this deity Vajrasattva in the context of these 4 opponent powers. So the first is the power of regret. And LAMA YESHE says this goes a long way to purifying, just kind of admitting to ourselves that we may possibly have been in the wrong. So we regret. It's not guilt. It's having a kind of an adult, grown-up attitude towards doing things that are harmful to others. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear this thought of future suffering. And we know, because we know from our present suffering, that it's pretty unpleasant. We don't want it. So logically, we need to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others, and think, I'm sick of this suffering. So what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So refuge. We rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, who we actually see as a doctor. So we're not asking Vajrasattva, please will you forgive me? We're going to do the work ourselves. So we're using his methods. So we visualize Vajrasattva above the crown of our heads, about 1 or 2 inches above, and facing the same direction as you. And you can make this Buddha as, as large as you like, really. It doesn't matter, it's what fits your mind. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light. So you can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher, if you have one, your spiritual mentor, this person who is leading you along the path. He's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this white lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud. And just like our enlightened potential, which is born out of our delusions, but yet untainted by them. Has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for us. He has no judgmental thoughts towards you. He just accepts you exactly as you are. He's going to meet you where you're at. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot, His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I am enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So there's a little section on compassion here. And in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing a sense of compassion for them, a wish for them to be free from suffering. So I think particularly maybe of someone you've harmed recently, perhaps someone in the past. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these sentient beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So the power of the remedy. So this is the actual medicine, where we do the practice of purification, and it involves recitation and visualization. So first, we purify the body. And imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, very forcefully from his heart. So you could imagine maybe a fire hose or waterfall, and it sort of arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps coming until it forces out of all your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So be really delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So the next is a purification of speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body. Except this time, forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows quite powerfully and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and careless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you switch on a light. That light instantly dispels the darkness. So it's just the same as when that light that light touches your heart chakra, the light from Vajrasattva's heart touches your heart. Instantly, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your anger and attachment and neediness and depression and grasping and bitterness and grudges and jealousies, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left, as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mempi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame matsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering, our own delusions, and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are totally purified, gone, finished. And think there is no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech and mind. So now, if you wish, as Vajrasattva sends light and nectar from his heart to your heart, you can imagine that happening as you recite a couple of mantras each for the visualizations of the body, the speech and the mind, or you can just imagine light and nectar pouring in, filling you completely and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahom Pe, Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Duda Meboa, Sutokaya Meboa, Supokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasiti Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum, kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa sepokaya mebowa Anarakta mebowa sawasiti mimpiyatsa sawa kama sitame sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Now feel completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. So the next is the power of resolve, and this is the fourth step in the purification process, and quite a crucial one. This is when we make a decision, we just decide we're not going to harm with our body and our speech and our mind. And it's not going to be immediately ever again, because we have habits and we're human and things happen and we get upset and we fall back into usual patterns of speech or whatever. So we just make a decision. We're going to work on things a little bit at a time. So think of something that you would like to work on, or you have been working on recently. Some habit that you have. Just bring it to mind. Maybe it's something to do with the speech. And think, I'm going to refrain from this for tonight while I'm asleep. Between 10 o'clock and 6:30 or however many hours you sleep. And then rejoice in your efforts. Rejoice in your efforts turning up here when you're probably tired and come home from work, and well, maybe you've just had dinner and you feel sleepy and you want to watch your program on TV, but you've chosen instead to come and do this practice, which is just really amazing. So rejoice for that. So this determination to not do again is what gives us the strength to change. But we have to decide first. We've got to be the ones to make the decision. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are the same thing. And LAMA YESHE used to call that union oneness. So next, Rinpoche recommends to meditate on the emptiness of the three circles. In emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So place your mind in that emptiness for a little while. So in this way we can look at all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that maybe the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And for His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. And for Lama Zopa Rinpoche, O Tub Shul Chang Jin Jam Gan Galloway, Tenzin Kyong Pelaway, Kunzo Dog Porze, Chog Sum Gurway Leg Mon to Droop, Padag Sog Dulje Gondu Jab Chen Shog. For Lama Ursel, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe Shera, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay, everybody, more people turned up. Nice to see you, Steve and Stephanie, Susan and Hin, hi, and Lorraine. Okay, everybody, thank you so very much. Lots of love. Please sleep well. Sweet dreams. Oh, there's Erin. Okay,
Okay.